U.S. District Judge in New York ruled that federal prosecutors cannot seek the death penalty against Luigi Manion for the 2024 killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Judge Margaret Garnett dismissed the federal murder charge, determining it was technically flawed because the underlying stalking charges did not meet the legal definition of a crime of violence. Chris, for people that may disagree with this, what do you say to them?
I understand why you disagree, and I hate the message that it sends, and I think the prosecutor screwed up. And did the judge have to make this ruling? No, but it was close to her having to make it. Why? Because the way the law works is the reason you get the death penalty. Remember, in the law, the death penalty is a very, very, very high standard, okay? And you need to have violent felonies underneath. They said, yes, stalking is violent. That's not the way the stalking is perceived, especially when there's been no contact prior. So I think they forced her hand a little bit, but I get why you don't like it because it sends a terrible message. If this isn't murder, what is? And I don't like it. I don't like this kid. I hate that he's Italian. I hate that people say that he's handsome. I hate that he's raised all this money. I hate that people argue the other side of it. To what you said about Don Lemon, to me, Mangione is that times a million in terms of the message.
Chris, can you comment on how New York State is more limited on what will get you the capital punishment in the first place?
Well, it's
when
federal.
compared to Florida,
It's
when
federal,
compared to
though.
Texas,
It's
or
federal.
even...
It's not state. It's federal. If it were a state case, New York would still be tricky. But Florida, I mean, he would have been dead as soon as they caught him in Florida. But federal law applies the same in all states.
Apparently this judge, I sent you a picture of her, Margaret Garnett.
Mm-hmm.
She was a liberal judge appointed by Biden. And this just goes that everything's political at this point. Everything is so politicized that the most unique person in this world, in this country at this point, is someone who's fair and balanced. You know, Fox says they're fair and balanced. Yeah, okay. You know, CNN certainly is not. MSNBC, which had to change their name to MS Now, I believe. We know, where are people getting independent, non-political viewpoints at this point? Here's just a latest example of a liberal judge that's just siding with, look, who was she appointed by? Bottom right.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. So they say that, you know, the Justice Department is weaponized or politicized. Here's just another example. It's pretty clear. Biblical, I'm not the biggest Bible guy, but, you know, eye for an eye. You kill somebody in cold blood, it's you. You're gone. You're gone. Death penalty. That should be just point blank. That's my opinion.
Sometimes they screw up the case, though. Casey Anthony here in Florida.
Casey Anthony, exactly.
Very strong. Overreached. Went for the death penalty.
Yep.
She winds up getting acquitted.
Yep.
Why? They went for too much. I think these guys did the same thing. They did it the wrong way, and they gave this judge an opportunity to make a ruling that I don't think will be overturned on appeal.
What do you think should happen to Mangione? Forget about the fact that he's Italian, just from a lawyer standpoint. Do you think he did it?
He's the worst. Of course he did.
Of course he did it, right?
He did it.
Of course
He
he
wanted
admitted
to
it.
do it.
Right.
He planned it.
Of course.
He did it for bad reason, and he's a bad guy.
But he's a hero on the left. There's
I know.
women lining
I hate
up.
it.
Well, that's
There's a
I hate
story
it.
of some guy dressed up as a CIA agent.
No, today. Well, that's a great.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
But what do you think should happen to him? If not the death penalty?
Well, he's going to get convicted, and they're going to give him life in prison.
so then he gets to go sell books and be a hero to the left?
No, hell no. We're gonna pay for him to be alive.
Well, you're going to pay for him to be alive, right? That's life without parole.
What do you mean no? He's not going to write a book? He's
No,
not gonna
because
write a-
you have the Son of Sam law. You can't make money off your crime.
Well, good.
Vinny.
Yeah, and I'm making a great point. So
David Berkowitz.
a 36-year-old named Mark Anderson, I will tell you where he's from, went all the way cross country to Metropolitan Detention Center. He claimed he was an FBI agent. He told the prison staff he had an order to release Louis Mangione. They asked for his credentials. Guess where his license went? Guess where he's from? You're never going to guess. Minnesota.
Somalia. Oh.
Minnesota.
Same thing.
He's from Minnesota, and they searched his bag. They found a barbecue fork and something that looked like a pizza cutter. He went all the way there with a pizza cutter as if they were going to have pizza after he got him out.
What was
with
he
a fork.
trying to do exactly?
Really, you know what I mean? To get him out of jail, to break him out of prison.
But he's nuts.
He's a crazy person.
You know,
Okay.
I mean,
So a crazy person from Minnesota?
Minnesota.
No way.
You're never gonna believe it.
Tom, do you have anything on this or no?
No,
So I 2 days ago, I had a 1 hour call with his 3 lawyers. Luigi's lawyers. Luigi wrote me a 2-page long letter that was written in August that I received 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
Did you say, or
Yeah.
even a day before Christmas? Something like that. And it was interesting because when he came out with the 27 points, one of the things he wrote on the 27 points when my phone blew up is Luigi Manion is reading your next 5 moves in prison, and other inmates were reading your next 5 moves as well in jail. So this is kind of how the exchange is going. So I'm talking to the lawyer, and yeah, that one right there. I think it was 0.7 or 8 or 9 or one of them. There you go, 0.7.
seven.
Your next 5 moves. Yeah. So to me, you know what I was asking the lawyers, and who knows, maybe we'll do something together to go even deeper, because one of the lawyers that's there, she's also a content creator, and she gets a lot of eyeballs. She's with Midas Touch, and she does a very good job. She's a talent. And obviously, to be a lawyer for someone like this, you have to be very, very good at what you do. All I want to know is, how does this happen? How do you go from a guy that has a trajectory of getting to where he could have gone in life, being a good citizen, make good money, create jobs, get married, have kids, do all the stuff that he wants to do, to all of a sudden get to this point? I want to know where this led to this. So because if we don't, how many other Luigis are there that we have to know that if we don't see patterns, we can't prevent, right? When I'm talking to these lawyers, I'm telling them how I was, at 18 years old, if you judged me on where I was going to be in life, you would have never said I'm going to be here, ever. None of my friends would have ever said I'm going to be here. Someone got a hold of me, whether it was a couple of my drill sergeants, whether it was Drill Sergeant Green or Drill Sergeant Purtle or First Sergeant Ward or Lieutenant Colonel Peacocks or Lieutenant Off or Sergeant Braxton, or all of these guys, these friendships, the influences, the Pastor Dudley Rutherford, the Rich Dollies, these men who got a hold of you, who said, hey, you can do better, the Brian Heflin, the Cisco Davises. These are men who get a hold of a young man who doesn't have a sense of direction to say, what are you doing? And flip it also on the other side. You know why my concern, the same thing when I brought up the Don Lemon and you said you're more here than you're on the Don Lemon side? Dude, we got to prevent this thing before it gets to the next level. 20 of us went to watch Joker when it came out. I'm a big Joaquin Phoenix guy, and I want to watch the movie. 43 minutes into the movie, I look at Jen and I said, there's no way I can watch this movie. There's no way I can watch this movie. This is horrible. This movie is inspiring you to go kill the billionaire.
Yep.
That's the movie. You don't think 5 kids are going to say, fuck, let me go kill him and F these guys. And you don't think all you need is 5 kids to watch Joker. You don't think these movies are going to have that kind of an impact? And how big of a movie was it? Of course, Joaquin Phoenix crushed it in the movie. Of course. And who was the bad guy? Was it Robert De Niro? Who was the guy that
Robert
he
De Niro
kills?
was
Isn't
the
it Robert
late-night
De Niro?
host.
Yeah.
Late-night host.
And so you watch this and you say, how does this happen? I'm interested in what gets somebody to that point and what can we do to prevent that from happening at a large scale. Guy next to me does a Zoom with me yesterday. He said something very interesting. 22, 23-year-old content creator, very talented. He says, you know what I miss? I said, what do you miss? He says, for 7 or 8 years when I was a young boy, I watched every one of your Motivation Monday videos in your car. I watched every one of your videos about what it is to be a young man or this or content creator and all this other stuff. He says, America doesn't have people that they watch on how plays a role of a father. Says a lot of young men need that messaging today in a big way. Right before jumping on here, we're talking, Chris and I are talking about your son, and, I'm not going to say it publicly, but what decisions he's making, what he wants to do with his career. Good-looking guy, he's doing what he's doing, and family, the conversation. There's nothing like family. But there's also nothing like influencing someone else that's maybe not your family to prevent them to do something dumb. I'm willing to bet the guy was this close of just being a regular guy you would have met, you would have never thought about him. And I'm willing to bet there are tens of thousands of Luigi Mangionis that are this close to do something stupid. This close. And if we don't find a way to get a hold of these guys, we're going to have a bunch of these cases happening. So it's interesting they chose to go this route. But again, We'll follow this case a little bit closer. There's a game coming up called Super Bowl, right? And Seattle is going up against
New England,
New
sir.
England Patriots. And it's so funny because we can go through a whole different conversation with New England, with Bill Belichick. Maybe we'll do that all the way at the end because I'm sure we all have some opinions on Bill Belichick not making it into the Hall of Fame. Tom Brady said, if I have to come back and play with only one coach, I'm not picking anybody else but Bill Belichick. And the guy didn't make it, and 3 other coaches were first ballot Hall of Famers, but this guy didn't. But anyways, Patriots, Seattle Seahawks, while this is happening, you're watching it. And if you believe future looks bright, you may want to wear this gear that we're launching here today. Go ahead, Rob.
It starts with what you wear. Not just style, identity.
I like that you went with the British guy.
Built with precision.
Spinning.
From the curve of the brim to the weight of the fabric. Every detail matters because this isn't just apparel. It's confidence you put on, pride you represent, a statement without saying a word, where performance
You guys
meets
have your own
legacy.
flag football team?
This is more than gear. This is who we are.
All right, go to VTmerch.com,
okay,
folks.
Mano.
Good for Mano. Looking good.
Panda.
Go to VTmerch.com, place your order. Future looks bright. And by the way, Mano, right there, used to play for the Chiefs. He's now here running VT Sports with Danny Cannell. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.